I'd like to call to order the Proctor City Council meeting for Tuesday, September 6, 2022. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll perform roll call at this time. Councillor Benson?
Present.
Councillor Johnson?
Present.
Councillor Reuter is excused. Councillor DeWall?
Present.
Mayor Ward is present. Let the minutes reflect all others in attendance. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to suspend the regular city council meeting and open the public hearing for proposed assessment 102 6th Street.
So moved.
Councillor DeWall made the motion. Is there a second?
Support. Second.
Supported by Councillor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. So at this time, the public hearing is when the City Council offers a time for everyone in attendance to address the City Council regarding parcel ID 185-0050-00170 or 102 6th Street. As a rule, the Council will listen to all comments, questions, or concerns. If you'd like to address the City Council during public hearing, please come forward to the podium or raise your hand and we will bring you a microphone. Before you begin, please state your name and address for the public hearing minutes. To ensure that everyone in attendance has the opportunity to address the City Council, comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the City Council will be prohibited from using obscene, profane, or threatening language or boisterous conduct that disrupts the public hearing or the security of the public. If you are watching from home, you may dial 218-628-6289, and we'll begin the public hearing right now. So if anyone would like to say something, please approach the podium.
Annika Grady. I live at the residence and own it, and closer. I live and own that residence, and I have not seen an itemized thing as to what was actually done, and I was supposed to have 48 hours to get this done and was not given the appropriate time to get it done.
Thank you. Regarding the, I guess you'd call it the assessment bill. Megan, do you have the dates of when you sent those bills out?
Do I have an itemized list?
Can you, if you could, or I share your computer with me.
I can look it up too, Mayor.
One second.
No problem.
Mayor, if I can speak to the time frame, the 48 hours.
Absolutely.
Ms. Grady was indeed given 48 hours to clean it up initially from our street and our MS4 coordinator, Rick Lalonde. Chief Gaddis was notified of the spill. He initially assessed it and notified our MS4 staff, who was Rick Lalonde. He did visit the site and gave the 48 hours notice. However, because it was a unknown fuel type of some kind, he had to notify the fire chief. And then at that time, the fire chief is responsible for calling the Minnesota duty officer. And the duty officer ordered the spill to be cleaned up immediately due to the unknown nature and due to the fact that it was approaching the storm sewer. Or the other alternative was to have a fire truck and fire crew present on location until the spill was cleaned up. And so that's when, based on the duty officer's recommendation and order, and the fact that we had to have volunteer firefighters, which as well would have been charged for on scene until it was cleaned up. That is why the cleanup happened sooner than the 48 hours.
Thank you for that explanation. I was just handed 2 receipts as well, both addressed to yourself. One was dated September 17th, 2021, and it does have an itemized report of everything that was being charged. And then we sent a second one addressed to yourself as well, dated April 6th of this year.
I got that one, but I don't know what was in the spill.
Oh, so you're asking about what the contractor found in
Correct.
the illicit discharge? Did we get those reports from Northland?
It was a mixture of diesel fuel and other substances that required separation and contamination, the proper disposal of.
Are those something that could be shared with Monica?
Yes, they can be.
Would you like a copy of those?
Please.
So we can definitely get you a copy of them, or of that report, I suppose. Did council have any questions, comments? Hearing none?
So there's a little clarity, who from the state gave the advice to our police chief? Or
The-
fire chief?
The duty officer on duty, Minnesota State duty officer.
Why was I not notified by the duty officer? I was just notified by Morgan, Megan, of that it had to be cleaned up now.
I don't know that it's customary that the duty officer responds to the individual property owner, and I believe according to our code, we are in charge of protecting the storm sewers, so at that point, that
That's right.
charge is left with us.
That is correct.
And the storm sewer is half a block away. I understand there was a puddle, and there's been a puddle at that address since I've moved in. This is the first year that it hasn't been a puddle. So why are you worried about it now? I understand there's stuff in the pollutants in the water. There was pollutants in the water, but I've lived at that house for 4 years.
And I don't think the city's too concerned about a puddle running into our stormwater. I think we are concerned with the material within that puddle.
I understand that, but why is it now that it's been there for 4 years?
Because there was an illicit discharge into that puddle, and that's what brought it to our attention. If you're saying that the illicit discharge has been there for over 4 years, we were not aware of that, unfortunately. But if the illicit discharge happened on July 2nd, that is when it was brought to our attention, and that's why that puddle became a concern to the city. Any further comments?
I think this flusters the heck out of my wife, and I guess she's just trying to get her point across as far as, because it was stated that it was approaching a storm drain, and I think that's what she means by the puddle thing. She's expressed it to me previously, that she didn't understand it wasn't approaching a storm drain. It just goes to that puddle and just sits there forever. And I mean, at the end of the day, I know that I talked to Jess on the day that in question, and she had stated to me that it wasn't believed that we were going to clean it up, so the state, you guys had decided or whatever that you take your own corrective actions. And the only thing that I had ever even questioned about it is that even if we've been given the opportunity to call a different company, because Northland literally is the most expensive company that could be called. There's a place in Duluth that's a licensed contractor that cleans up, and they would have done it for $800. And I had actually already spoken to them on the phone when I was called and told that I wasn't, me or my wife were going to be given the opportunity to clean it up. We didn't believe, it wasn't believed that it would be cleaned up. And, you know,
I've expressed to Jess before on the phone and Megan that I did not have a problem paying the bill. I would just like to be shown, you know, more of exactly what I'm paying. Because to give somebody a piece of paper and say, this is what you owe. And then when I asked, well, can I have a copy of the Northland's findings, the report and everything, I was told by Jess that I am not allowed to see that. And it's kind of hard to just take it at face value and just say, oh, here, I'll just pay a bill that I don't understand where it all come from, because my wife's oldest son's best friend works for Northland and didn't understand how the bill was that high, because it shouldn't have been. And I can have him come in here and he'll say the same thing. You know, and again, I'm not arguing with anybody about paying it. I believe that it should not have been as much. But again, if I could have had any type of a payment plan, something besides just telling me to come down here and start paying towards it. You know, I've called City Hall a number of times and I have tried to just, you know, get an understanding with it. You know, I guess I understand I'm not your guys' favorite person, so. But, yeah, my wife's extremely upset. She doesn't really understand why, you know, it got to the point where I'm being told that to have the property owner call City Hall, and nobody wanted to talk to me anymore.
Well, and maybe Attorney Bray can address that, but I don't know if we can talk to others about a property address that isn't
Right.
in their name regarding an assessment.
No.
I believe that has to be addressed through the property
Yeah, it has to be
owner
addressed to the
themselves.
property owner.
So that may have been why you were directed to have the property owner call City Hall regarding that issue. As far as the bill is concerned, Northland does do a good job. They may or may not be one of the higher contractors in the area, but this was during a holiday weekend as well. So I think any contractor that would have came out during the holiday weekend would have been charging a little higher of a fee than you typically would have had. I know Councilor DeWall and myself were on site that day when all this happened to help kind of clean things up and get things back in order, and we saw what was going on.
It was a weekend?
It was a Friday.
Oh, it was Friday? Oh. I'm bad with calendars. Yeah, I'm standing here telling you, if there can be some type of like, we don't have a lot of money. I know it's probably been figured that we did because I built the garage there and everything, but that's been on the biggest budget you could probably find. And if there could be some type of an understanding of a payment plan, something that I could realistically pay. I'm trying to go back to work and I'll pay the bill. I'm not fighting with anybody about the bill. You know, the reason why I'm saying that is because the spill happened on city property. I'm telling you that it was not intentional, but my understanding is that it came out of my vehicle. I don't understand why it's been being assessed towards my wife and the property when it was city property, and I've claimed responsibility, be it that it's accidental, but I would still.
Did you have a barrel full of liquid up on the garage? Because I believe that's where the illicit discharge came from, was a 50-gallon drum.
That was sitting in the bed of the truck. Well, that's what they figured it came from. Though talking with the Northland contractors, like I said, a number of people that I know that work there, it was stated to me that they believed it was 50 gallons or something like that, and it was their statements to me, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to see what their report stated, because they told me in person that they didn't believe it was more than a gallon, if anything. Which that's why I have tried to kind of understand, you know,
And I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
Patrick Engelbert.
Patrick?
This is my wife.
Patrick, we used 150 or 200 spill pads on this site. From the looks of it, it's more than a gallon of material that was spilled out.
What would their guesstimation?
I can't speak for the people that were cleaning it up, but just looking at the pictures and the amount of spill pads that we used, it was definitely more than a gallon.
Well, those are 24 by 24 still pads. If you take,
I mean, then that's one area, and then we got other areas where there's more laid down. So, I mean, I'm not arguing with you on it, I'm just saying, I think it was more than a gallon is all I'm saying.
well, yeah, but it wasn't.
So, on the itemized bill, you know, we charged you for absorbent pads, 150 of them.
Where's that 150?
I have no idea what's all in here, but then, like I said, we have different, and I don't know if they picked some up and laid more back down. I wasn't there, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay the bill for 150 pads, but they didn't use 150 pads, I think. Not even close. Because those are 24 by 24 pads. Yeah, like I said, I'm not. That's so semantics, like, how do we figure out? Oh, like, that's just semantics about it. It's, okay, well, how is it made possible for me to pay the bill?
Jess, do you want to hit on how that works? It gets assessed to his property taxes?
Yep. So if approved, this assessment would get assessed to the property taxes on that parcel, and it would be due payable in 2 equal installments, just like you pay your property taxes. When property taxes are due, this did not include any penalties or interest, just the straight costs that it costs the city to clean up the spill.
Well, the original bill I had that you guys had sent, or the last one we got, said that if it wasn't paid, we'd be assessed a fine for late fees.
And
we did not do that.
Sitting here right now, there are no late fees. There's just a straight assessment of the cost that the city paid for the cleanup. So you do have time to pay it when property taxes are due, like Administrator Rich said, twice a year, right? So you don't have to wait twice a year. You can go down to the county and pay that monthly payments, I believe, if you'd like to, couldn't you?
Correct.
So you do have time to make payments, but when your first set of taxes come due, that first half would be due at that time.
So half of the 5,200 has to be paid, what, in a month? Is that when they're due?
No, this wouldn't be until the 2023 taxes.
So May 15th would be the first payment.
Would be the first half of, that's not gonna be possible. We can't pay that. I've spoken with Jess a number of times and I've been trying to figure out, we can't pay that.
So you are correct, you have spoken to me several times about making payments, and I invited you to come down to City Hall and put whatever money you ever wanted to, without setting up a rigid payment agreement. I said, whenever you have extra money, come down and put it on the bill, we'll gladly take it. And then I think I had even bargained if we've seen some progress towards the cleanup of the property, we would enter into a fuller, more robust payment plan, and that's not happening, and so this is me just doing my job, bringing it to the council to have the bill paid.
No, I totally understand that. I can't give you money I don't have. I know you guys probably think that we're made of money or something. But, I mean, so the first payment, the first half is May what?
I believe
15th.
the first half of property taxes are due May 15th of every year, and the second half is October 15th of every year.
So if we don't have that money, then what happens then?
And then also, I believe, Patrick, that when you do make a payment on your property taxes, it's first applied to your real estate taxes. So let's say your first half of your taxes was $3,000, and you paid $2,500, just for example. First, your real estate taxes are paid, and then anything extra you make over any extra payment goes towards a special assessment. What happens with that special assessment over time, if it's not paid, it gets carried over with penalty from the county, I believe.
Yeah, all I've been trying to do since when I spoke to you and I spoke to Megan, I believe it's Megan, is just trying to have a better understanding, because if there's a bill from Northland and they charge, part of their disposal charge is included in that bill, and I just wanted to see what came from them as far as what was disposed of and so on and so forth. And Jess, I believe you told me that I didn't get to see that.
I don't recall telling you that. I know you had called Northland and asked for the report. And
They
since
told me I had to get it from you.
Right, and you never requested that, and if I did, I would have told you to fill out a data request, because you're not the property owner.
Okay.
We can give you the itemized list from Northland. That total bill was just over $3,900. So the whole bill was not for the amount being talked about here. Northland's invoice was $3,918.06.
Okay.
But excuse me, I did send that report to you, Miss Grady. It's in your email.
It's in my email?
In Miss Grady's email. I just sent it to you.
Oh, you just sent it just now? Okay. Yeah, I was like, I haven't seen that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to argue with anybody or anything. I'm just trying to figure out a way that this can be taken care of. I mean, it's the same thing with my property. I've been trying to figure out a way to get everything done. I mean, I kind of have an ankle bracelet on my ankle, so it's very hard for me to put things on my trailer and leave with them. You know, and there's nothing I can do about that. I gotta just, so I mean, so I know that you guys are gonna assess and everything, and that's understandable, but how do we, where do I move, because this isn't my wife's bill. It wasn't on her property, it's my bill. And that's why I've been trying this whole time. And I've been told repeatedly, well, it's not your bill. Your wife has to call us.
Yeah, and again, that's due to where the illicit discharge came from, was that parcel code, which is in your wife's name.
But
So that's who we have to assess as the property owner.
So if I pull my truck up and park down on the street out here and there was a leak, it would then be the city, they would have to pay it here? It was city property and it was my truck. And that's the whole thing. I'm not trying to get it, I'm just trying to take care of the bill myself, especially hopefully I go back to work in the next month here and I'll be able to just pay the whole thing, just take care of it so there's no more issues with it. You know, it's like I was saying after I got the letter about the siding. I'm gonna get it on as soon as I have the money. And, you know, I'm sure people drove by and they've seen that the scaffolding and, you know, we just finished this off in the fascia yesterday. It'll have siding, and that's something that I would like to ask the council as well, is, so what happens with where I was told that I had to have siding on before July 1st? Well, there's no siding on it, and it's gonna be another few months before I can get it on. So is there a fine or,
We're not here to talk about that tonight. This is the public hearing about this, the illicit discharge.
so who do I talk to about,
Should
about
probably
setting
talk-
up the,
Probably talk to the building official
huh?
about that.
Did you get a letter regarding that?
My wife did.
Planning and zoning?
Did it come from
Yeah.
planning and zoning? That's who you'd have to go visit at their next meeting.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know if they did this. I didn't know. I could actually ask questions because I'm just, like I said, I mean, guess you guys assess it and figure out payment. I just don't want to get my head bit off when I leave here. Because this is my problem. I mean, if we can try to figure something out too, or starts being paid off, I mean, I would greatly appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and we'll keep that in mind.
All right, thank you.
Is there any other comments? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing and resume our regular city council meeting.
So moved.
Councilor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That being said, there was a resolution on your desk prior to this public hearing, Resolution 34-22. We're looking for a motion to accept Resolution 34-22. And I'll make the motion to accept Resolution 34-22.
Second.
Sent by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That'll bring us to approval of the minutes. Looking for a motion to approve the city council meeting minutes from August 15th, 2022. Councilor Benson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda, but before making that motion, I'd like to add 1B under communications, St. Louis County, 2nd Street concrete rehabilitation information and survey notification. That was on your desk prior to this meeting. So with that, we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Councilor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to comments and suggestions from the citizens present. The public comment suggestion period of this meeting is when the city council offers a time for everyone in attendance or watching from home to address the city council. Once we move on from public comment suggestion period of the meeting, members of the public will no longer be allowed to address the council unless the mayor acknowledges you. As a general rule, the council will listen to all comments but will not comment on or respond to any comments made by speakers. The council will not engage in dialogue. However, any council member can ask questions. If you'd like to address city council during the public comment suggestion period of the meeting, please come forward to the podium or dial 218-628-6289 if watching from home. Before you begin, please state your name and address for the meeting minutes. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the city council will be prohibited from using obscene, profane, or threatening language or boisterous conduct that disrupts the meeting or the security of the public. Is there anyone at this time that is interested in participating in the public comment suggestion period of the meeting? And we'll give that a minute or so. Hearing none, we'll move on. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Support.
Support by Counselor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That'll bring us to 3A, liquor license refund. Code attached, Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. I need to bring this back to council to report that we had made a clerical mistake at City Hall. When I was drafting a letter to let our refund applicant know that his application or his request was denied, I double-checked code again, and I found, due to some circumstances, that we can issue a refund for liquor licenses, and we can charge a prorated. Our code does allow for charging a prorated fee. So you have in your packet, we did go back to the last two applications, one for a prorated fee for the remainder of the year, one issuing the refund for the remainder of the year that he does not have the license, and then we had to go back one application to charge issue a refund on another establishment refund. So I apologize for that. And just wanted to report that we will be issuing those refunds according to code.
Is there any conversation regarding
Yes.
liquor license refund? Counselor DeWall.
Our liquor control went through this, and I understand code. But I also understand the recommendation from our liquor control. So I guess I resort to the city attorney. When council makes a decision on something, is that the final?
Typically, yeah.
We try to follow code, because that's why we have it. But ultimately, council makes the final decision on next steps.
True. You know, if the code's clear, we're probably bound by it. But yeah, you're right, there would be council decision as to what we finally do. Here, let's take a look.
And I guess my second question is, I was only aware of the one request. I wasn't aware of the other two requests. So did we just include those requests in by interpreting the code the way we did? Or did they write a letter like this person did?
So the other two are not refunds on a license fee already paid. It was the initial application for their liquor license, and that is under 120.067B, where we can, code allows for a pro rata fee, prorated fee upon application. So if they apply in August, then code allows for them to only pay August through December. And there is no stipulation in code that they have to request that. Whereas the other one was a refund that was requested within 30 days from the happening of the event.
So what you're saying, Administrator Rich, is we're just following what city code addresses.
That's correct.
And when liquor control made their recommendation, I'm assuming they were unaware of this code as well?
That's correct.
Would it make sense to send this back to liquor control, have them make another recommendation regarding what city code reads, and assume they would follow city code in their recommendation?
Well, the final decision would be up to us, but I think procedurally that would make some sense.
What's that?
I think procedurally that would make some sense.
Would that make sense
Yeah,
to
that's
council?
fine.
Send it back to liquor control, make them aware of what city code reads, and then have them come back with
A
a recommendation.
I would appreciate that, Mr. Mayor.
Administrator Rich, we can make that happen?
Absolutely.
Do we need to take action on that? Or-
Just a simple motion would do it.
I'll make a motion then to send this liquor license application refund back to liquor control.
Second.
Signed by Counselor Benson. Any further discussion?
And is that for all three or just the one?
Just the one.
I believe the one falls under that city code Administrator Rich read, 120.067, letter C, C5, and then the other two would fall under 120.067, letter B. So they're, all three of them fall under city code, but under different chapters.
I would think you would maybe want clarification on all three.
So was that the motion?
Yeah, we have discussion right now happening.
My second would reflect that.
Perfect. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. That'll bring us to 3B, SRO contract update. Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. With the start of school today, I thought that I would give you an update on where we are with the school resource officer contract. Chief Gaddis and I have been working with school administration on contract language, contract amount, contract expectations, and right now we have drafted a draft of the contract, which I will hopefully be meeting with the City Negotiation Committee in the next week. In the meantime, since we do not have an active contract in place, Chief Gaddis and his police department are providing not necessarily a designated school resource officer. We will try in every attempt to make it to school functions, but it could be an officer in a community policing situation rather than the designated school resource officer until we get a contract in place. So we've requested some dates and times where the school would like a presence of an officer, and those will be filled in, like I said, in a community policing relationship rather than an SRO relationship.
Thank you. Any discussion regarding the SRO update? Counselor Benson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was at the school this morning at around a little after 8, and there was an officer there, so it was nice to see that we're working together.
Good. Thank you for that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to 3C, Playground for Everybody update. Administrator Rich.
Thank you. You will begin to see activity at the playground for everybody, probably, beginning tomorrow at 10:30. We ran into some elevation challenges with the current elevation of the equipment that's already been installed versus the equipment that's coming, versus the elevations we've been given on the site. And so what's having to happen is we are going to be pulling the existing equipment so that we can set everything at the right elevations without bringing an excess amount of fill in to make the site level and give it the right slopes that it needs. So work will begin tomorrow morning at 10:30, and if everything goes well, we'll still be on schedule for volunteers working on starting September 15th.
Thank you. Any discussion regarding the playground? Hearing none, we'll move on to 5A, Police Civil Service Hiring Recommendation. In your packet, you see the recommendation from the Proctor Police Civil Service Commission. It's a recommendation that Mr. Jonathan Search be offered the entry-level position upon the passing of his medical and psych examinations and background check. Is there a motion to approve their recommendation?
So move.
Counselor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to 5B, Proctor Police Civil Service Intern Sergeant MOU. In your packets, a memorandum of understanding between the City of Proctor and LELS Local Number 21 and LELS Local 405. This is an agreement to name Officer Matthew Rebel to the special assignment of temporary intern sergeant. Is there a motion to approve the MOU?
So moved.
Counselor Benson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Sent by Counselor Johnson. Any further discussion?
Yes,
Counselor Dwell?
this is just an extension of the first one we approved for another 120 days.
There was never a first one approved. This is the
We
MOU.
approved them doing it, but there was no memorandum in place. So there was an expiration on this, starting July 1 and lasting not more than 120 days. So this goes back to July 1. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion passes. That'll bring us to 5C, Proctor Police Civil Service Vacation MOU. Again, due to the short staffing that we've had through the police department in the city, it's a memorandum of understanding between LELS 21 and 405 and the city of Proctor to approve their vacation to either be paid out at the end of the year or for them to use it to extend the maximum accrual. Is there a motion to approve the MOU? I'll make the motion to approve the MOU. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Bring us to 5D, Resolution 27-22, support a special session. In your packet is a resolution urging Governor Walz to declare a special session. Proctor does have some major road work coming up, and it'd be nice if they could get back to the table to pass a bonding bill or budget. So is there a motion to approve Resolution 27-22? Councilor Benson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion? Councilor Benson.
The only thing missing would be our proposed legislation. The only thing missing in the resolution is the proposed vote on our bill that got hung up. I don't know if we have to rewrite the resolution, but even with the special session, it's probably too late to run a successful campaign for the trail extension.
Thank you for that, Councilor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 5E, Resolution 28-22, Duluth Players Softball Association raffle. In your packet is a resolution of non-objection to issuance of State of Minnesota charitable gambling license. The Duluth Softball Players Association would like to conduct a raffle on November 16th, 2022 at the Proctor Moose Lodge in Proctor. Is there a motion to accept the resolution? I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Sent by Councilor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 5F, Resolution 32-22, Infant Loss Awareness Day. In your packet is another resolution acknowledging October 15th as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. Is there a motion to accept the resolution?
So move.
Councilor Johnson made the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Sent by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 5G, catch basin repair. In your packet is a list of 5, looks like, projects in the process of inspecting storm runoff structure and to reduce costs by doing multiple projects. They got quotes to repair the catch basins on the following locations, and you see them listed there. Looking for a motion to accept the contract with KTM. Use the $32,000 in sewer budget for the such repairs and $50,000 in sidewalk repair budget. The recommendation would be to accept a bid from KTM Paving, using $32,000 from sewer budget and $5,000 from sidewalk repairs. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Councilor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion?
Just one, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor DeWall.
It appears as a few of these projects are on fairly new roads. Elmac?
And I did not have a chance to ask Rick regarding that.
So my question is, we just got done paying for new roads, and it's been 2017, 2018, call it 4 years, and there's already a need of repair?
I think the 811 is just up from me, and that is where they had problems when it rained, when the project was going on, and they tried to take care of the problem, and I guess this will take care of the problem. The 900, that's where the dirt part starts, so I'm not exactly sure about that one.
Is that one up past B,
I think it's right on the,
right on the corner?
yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Oops. Brings us to 5H, Resolution 33-22, accepting donation and purchase of a mower. Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a quote for the purchase of a new mower that cuts the around trees, the greens, the tee boxes. The current sidewinder is inoperable. They've tried to repair it and they cannot. We received a quote from MTI Distributing Incorporated, which is attached. This has been an offer from the Gordy Downs Trust to pay for a new machine. So the MTI Distributing is part of the state contract. They do have a state contract for groundskeeping, so it takes care of our competitive bidding requirements. The resolution is to accept the donation, but with the city to pay the sales tax.
Thank you. You heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 33-22?
So move.
Councilor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Benson. Any further discussion?
Is this,
Councilor Dewar?
the difference in the money, where is that going to come from? Out of the pre-approved budget that we have set up for the golf course?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 6I, State Grant Agreement, Sand Salt Facility. Administrator Rich.
This agreement is for $500,000 from the state bonding to pay for our sand salt facility. You did approve entering into a grant agreement when we first approved this project, but I thought you would like to see the contract. There is, it just highlighted some of the highlights of the agreement. There's no matching required. We need a completion date of December 31st, 2024, and that is grant closeout, not completion date of the sand salt facility. It does call for prevailing wages, and you are naming me the authorized signature on the grant and the pay request.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the state grant agreement? I'll make that motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That will bring us to 6, closed meeting pursuant to State Statute 13D.06 Subdivision 1B, labor negotiations. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Councilor DeWall made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. All right, we'll resume the regular city council meeting. Brings us to members' concerns. Councilor Benson.
I have some, but I will save it for the next meeting.
Sounds good, thank you. Councilor DeWall.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Councilor Johnson.
I have nothing.
Nothing. I got a whole laundry list of stuff, but
Oh, Lord.
I should have mentioned it at the last meeting, but the MIC held their monthly meeting here at City Hall back on August 17th, so that was nice to see them. They really appreciated coming here, so. Again, we'll be doing trunk or treat at City Hall on Halloween, Monday, October 31st, and we're looking at doing a time from 4 to 6 p.m. August 31st, Halloween. Just a reminder that October 28th is the Proctor Fire Department bingo out at the Buffalo House Junction, starting at 5. Doors open at 5, bingo starts at 6. So,
Would you say that one again, please?
Proctor Fire Department bingo fundraiser, October 28th at the Buffalo House. Doors open at 5, bingo starts at 6. And there's little pieces of paper out in the hallway. Just wanted to welcome all the kids back to school and make it known driving down the streets, take your time, pay attention. There's a lot of kids out on the corners now in the morning and walking after school. So hopefully they have a good school year, and wanted to bring up in the newest edition of the CN magazine, Chief Gatus has made the 3rd page, so. So just wanted to get that out there.
What did you do wrong this time?
No, it's CN in your community. It's the new magazine, so it was nice to see us getting some recognition in it. So, but other than that, I believe that is all I have. Attorney Bray.
No.
Administrator Rich, anything further?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. That being said, we'll entertain a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $163,716.85.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion?
Ms. Grant?
Councilor Benson.
Never mind, I found what I was looking for. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And that was not Councilor Johnson ripping up the CN magazine, just so people know. With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Councilor DeWall made the motion. Is there a second? Second by me. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.